Hey everybody, it's Connie with the Artisan Company and welcome back to the channel. Let's go see what is on the desk today. Okay everybody, let's get started on this project. Oh my, this one is going to be a little time consuming but not difficult. So today we're going to be working with some stones called sunstones, and I'm going to pull these up here so you can see them. These are faceted sunstones. They're about roughly 12 by 15 size. Some are smaller, some are larger than that, but average 12 by 15. You can see the facets in them. Is that not beautiful? And look at the color gradient, how different the color is in all of these. But this is just a wonderful, wonderful stone, and I love the colors on it. It's beautiful for fall, winter, and spring. So I decided I was going to use these today. And look at the little tiny, it almost looks like goldstone in there. It's just amazing. So I sorted these out as always according to size and color. Okay, so we're going to be working with this. I'm doing a 3-strand necklace today, and I'm going to be using the sunstone, and I'm also going to be using this quartz crystal right here. Oh my goodness, guys. It said citrine, but I don't think this is citrine. I think this is rose quartz. But anyway, around it is quartz crystal, and I'm going to be using several strands of this, probably more than this. But I pulled out these strands just to show you what I have. But I'm going to be making a 3-strand, one single strand of the quartz crystal. And then these 2 strands will be mixed with my sunstone. So yes, I'm going to show you what you need to get started, and then we'll get to rocking. Okay, quickly through here. Now, again, like I always tell you guys, you can duplicate this exactly if you want to. However, I want you to get the concept of what it is and take the stones that you have or the stones that you personally like and plug them in. You don't have to use quartz crystal. You may want to use something else, some other kind of stone right here. You may not want to use sunstone, but you like the rectangular shape. So anyway, that's what I'm getting to. Okay, so you will need some rectangular shaped stones of some kind. And this is, like I said, this sunstone is 12 by 15. You'll need several strands of some other kind of stone. This one's oval, kind of an oval shape, about a 8 millimeter oval shape on these stones. So you can use glass, you can use acrylic, whatever you want to do. But several strands of this. This strand right here is about 12, 13, 14 inches long roughly. So you'll need a few of these. Okay, and then this is a silver lined chocolate brown 6.0 seed bead, and you can see the silver lined in it. It's a translucent, so you can see the silver in there. But oh my goodness, you could probably find these on Fire Mountain. I actually bought these when I was in Montana, along with the other couple of seeds I've used on some things. But this silver lined brown translucent, you can find that pretty readily. I'd check Fire Mountain first. They have a huge selection. 6.0. This one is a Delica, and it is an opaque dark chocolate brown by Mayuki Shoji Delicas, and this is an 11.0 seed bead. We're going to be using that one as well. And then I've got some finishing beads in copper, and these are a 6.0 6 millimeter. When you go from the seed beads to these little, it's getting your mind to coordinate. But these are a 6 millimeter finishing bead. You'll need some of those. And this is a 4 millimeter gold bead cap. And I do this a lot. I mix my metals a lot And so I'm again in this piece mixing the coppers and the golds. But this is a 4 millimeter. This is an 8 millimeter rose gold jump ring. You'll need several of those. This is a 15 millimeter decorative jump ring. You'll need a couple of those. And then I chose the copper S-clasp, decorative S-clasp. I thought, okay, I'm mixing my copper colors from shiny to antique, and the rose gold kind of goes between the copper and the gold. It's kind of in between there. And then you have your flat out gold color. Okay, so I think that's what you're going to need for right now. Crimps and crimp covers, a few of those. Okay, let me get my head wrapped around this and we'll get started. Alrighty, we're about to get started. I'm using also a medium by AccuFlex or Softflex, doesn't matter. Medium beading wire, 49 strands. That's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm planning on making this, notice I said planning, on making this a 20-inch roughly cluster necklace is my plan. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do a little bit of the first strand. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be taking this beautiful quartz here. Let me take it off the strand. Look at these chocolate brown seed beads. They're almost black looking, but they're brown. I'm going to take the quartz off the strand here so I can get to it. And all I'm going to be doing here is I'm just basically going to be beading one of the pieces of quartz and one of the seed beads, quartz and seed bead. That's all I'm doing through the whole entire first strand. Alrighty. So we'll go from here. Let me get my eyes down here. I'll bead a few of these for you guys who like to see this process. I won't be beading the whole entire thing, but just enough that you can get the point. These little guys right here, man, I wish I was doing this with one of those big eye needles. This would be a piece of cake if I was doing it with that, but I'm not, so I'm using my little thread here. This is going to be stunning when it's finished. I saw it in my head. I was getting ready to work on a thulite necklace, sorry, and this one entered my head. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to do this one first. And then we'll go from there. When you're working with lots of strands of like this, I had like 6 strands of these stones. And so while you're working, pay attention to your stones for uh, like where it may have had some damage in shipping or something, because there's so many of them. You want to make sure you got the best stones in there. All right. This is where I'm going with this. All right. So it should look like this if you're doing this with any kind of beads. It should look like this. Should be a little tiny brown seed bead in between each piece of stone. Okay, I'm going to bead the whole entire strand, and then I'll be back just to save you guys some time on the video. Okay, you do yours, I'll do mine. Okay, so I've got this first strand done, and this is what it looks like. Got a little tiny seed bead in between every piece of stone, and oh my goodness, this is beautiful. It's just enough to offset it and give it a little sparkle. I love it, love it, love it. I went ahead and put my finishing beads on the end down here, but I haven't connected anything yet. So we're going to set this over to the side. We'll clamp it off just so I don't lose anything if I were to accidentally drop it. Okay, so we're going to sit this one over to the side and we're going to start on the next strand. Alrighty, I'm going to show you where I'm at on this project. And it's interesting because the what I'm trying to do here is to get the strands to kind of bunch up and kind of stack on top of each other. I was estimating roughly a 20-inch necklace, but I'm thinking I might do it more of a 24 now that I've started on it. I like that length better. And that's your prerogative. If you are doing something, you can change your mind in the middle of your project. It doesn't always have to be just like whatever the designer is telling you it should be like, because you will see things as you're going and you're going, oh, I would really like to do this instead. We'll do that instead because that's the creative process. And yes, nothing is etched in stone. No, well, anyway. Okay, so what I've done is this is my original strand, as you guys saw right there. And so I use that as my guide because these stones right here are so, they're not exactly the same size. They're irregular, and so are these. So I'm using this as a guide for my other two strands. So I started up here at the top, and I did the exact same thing as I did on the other ones. I did my finishing bead at the top, and then I started. And this time we added the 6.0 brown 6.0 seed beads. I wanted a larger bead to carry the weight of the look of the stone. The stones themselves are not that heavy because there's not that many of them, but it's the weight of how it looks. So I wanted the larger seed bead in there, the 6.0. So I'm coming down here and I added, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are 8 millimeter by 1 millimeter roughly. So I've got 8 at the top, and then I added my first piece of sunstone. I need some coffee. I added my first piece of sunstone, and what I did with the sunstone is I took the gold bead caps and I flanked each side of this piece of stone. So I'll have just an itty bitty, I mean, ever so itty bitty sliver of light because these catch so much light and there is kind of a glitter in these stones as well. They're so beautiful. So I flanked each one of these stones with the gold 4 millimeter bead cap. Now, here's another thing for you guys for when you're going rolling on something. Um, I did not set my pattern of how many stones I wanted in between each one of these sunstones. I didn't set that pattern before we started. I just wanted to see how it felt as I was rolling. And sometimes it's okay to do that a lot of times. It just depends on the necklace you're doing. And this one is such a random thing because the sizes are all random. I just kind of went, okay, let's do this. So I put 4 up here of the quartz crystal. I put 2 here in between these two, and I put 3 here in between these two, and 2 here to my center stone. Why did I pick those? Nothing in particular. I just like the way it looked. So that's what I'm saying. You guys can do that as well. Now, when I do the third strand, it may be a little different. I may put 2 up here and 3 here and 2 here and 1 there. I don't know. We'll just wait till we get there. And that's decisions that you can make as you're going because you can feel it as you're sitting here looking at the stones and seeing how the picture is playing out. Use your divine imagination. Use your divine imagination. It is there for you to use. Um, you will know what it is it's supposed to look like. I'm trusting that in every single solitary one of you. I'm trusting that you're going to know because it's in you to know. You were created to create. That's who you are as a person, as a being on this planet. You were created to create. So I'm trusting that you will see what it's supposed to look like. So here we go. I'm going to bead one or two of these, and then I'll bead the rest of it just for you guys who like to see that process. Okay, so I've got the bead cap on right here, and I'm going to pick up with the brown on this side. And then I'm going to two of the other stones, the crystal, oops, brown bead. All right, so I've got two here. So now I'm at this pattern right here. So I'm getting ready to put this stone on. So I've got my bead cap. Boy, these little guys are tiny. All right. And then my stone is here. Flip it. Maybe it'll, yeah, there it goes. I'm going to put the bead cap on, and then a brown. Okay, so I've made the curve. I am right here on this. So I'm going to repeat this pattern right here all the way up the rest of the way out. Okay, I'm going to finish it and we'll be back. Well, I've got the second one beaded, the second strand beaded, and you can see how this turned out. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful. Guys, I'm just saying, look how beautiful this is. The stone colors together are just stunning. I love it. So I've got them together here on this one. I crimped it off at the top with my little clip so that I don't, if I drop it, I don't have 152,000 pickup. But anyway, okay, so I've got this crimped off. And if you'll notice, I put the copper beads on the top together. That's my top. And then I'm looking here at the bottom, and these are almost exactly the same length. And that's what I was going for. So now I'm going to uh, set this aside, and I'm going to use the one I just beaded to do the next one since it has the stones in it as a guideline. And these are regular stones like this. You know, they look uniform when you're looking at it as a group. I mean, they look, for the most part, all the same size. But then when you start working with them, you realize that they're not. So you have to kind of go, oh my. So anyway, okay, I'm going to get ready to string the next one and we'll get started. All right, I'm going to show you what I decided to do. I'm going to stagger the stones like I've done on other projects. But again, you know, these stones are so irregular that you kind of have to go with your eye and your gut when you're when you're doing this kind of thing where they're so irregular like this. Okay, so what I did was I lined up my top up here, all my beads at the top, and I wound up taking out, I had 8 up here on this top section, and I took out 2 so I would have a little bit more space. So I took out 2. I made them equal all the way down, all the strands. Put my first stone on so they're all equal. And now I'm going to stagger the remaining stones as I'm going down. So this one right here had 4 quartz crystals in it. So I've got 2 in this strand so that that piece of sunstone will be staggered between these 2. So let's see what the next one does here. Okay, let me put a stone on. Up, drop my bead. Put the brown bead on. Move it here just a second. Probably let's try one more and see where it lands. Okay, let's see where this next piece of sunstone is going to land. Let's line it back up again. Oh, I think that's going to be about perfect. So I'm going to put the sunstone here. It's a fairly large stone, so it's going to kind of sit like that in there. So let me get my bead cap on. Oop, always drop them when I'm trying to show you guys. That's the way it goes. Put the stone on. Another bead cap. They're so tiny too. All right. Make sure they're pulled tight. Another brown. Let's go with another quartz and another brown. All right, perfect. So they're lined up all the way down from the top to the first set of stones, and now I'm staggering them. You can see how it's looking there. They're kind of a little bit offset from this strand right here, and that's what I was going for. That way your stones look like there's more actually than what's there, that it's an illusion. But it also adds interest. So I'm going to go ahead and go on down here just a few more. Let's see what I can find here and see where this next stone is going to land. Ooh. Sometimes my magnifying glass gets in the way of helping you guys. Right? Perfect. It's going to land perfectly right there. So let's put our bead cap on. These stones, y'all, I just cannot tell you how beautiful they are. They're just stunning. It's like, wow, wow, wow. Oh, don't drop it, y'all. Don't drop it. All right, there it goes. And there it is. Get these out of the way. Beautiful. Okay. Let me move these up so we can look at this, what we're going to do coming around this corner right here. Because I've got a center stone to put in here. All right, so we're staggering pretty good here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fill in with the quartz right here. Then I'll put my big chunky bead in, fill in with the quartz, and then we'll start this other side over here. Let's see here. We almost want them stacking on top of each other, but not quite. Oh, we need a couple more. A couple of more. Let's see where that lands. Oh, beautiful. Okay. I'm going to add one more here and then add the big chunky stone. It'll be just a hair bit longer than the other ones. Add my bead cap. Ah, my bead cap. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but can you see? Oh my goodness, can you see the sparkles in that? Is that not just amazing? I see now why it's called sunstone. Wow, wow, wow. So beautiful. All right, I'm gonna make the corner and then I'm gonna bead the other side and we'll be back to get the finishing touches going. Okay, we are nearing the end of this project. And it's not a difficult project. It's just a lot of moving parts, as I say. Okay, so I went ahead and I did this side to expedite our time on the closure. But if you can see here, I may have to pull it down here. Okay. What I did was I took each strand and connected it to this large 15 millimeter. Uh, it's not really a jump ring, it's just a decorative ring. Uh, Actually, a larger one would be pretty. A 20 millimeter would have been pretty too. But 15 millimeter for this size bead is about as small as I want it to go. So I connected the top of each strand to this, finished it off with my crimp covers. Then the next thing I did was I took these beautiful decorative jump rings in the rose gold. Remember, I had those, they're 8 millimeter. I took two of those, connected it to this, and then I connected it to the ring that's on the clasp. The clasp, it's an S clasp, so it has two rings on each end. And so I connected these two beautiful rose gold jump rings to the ring that's actually connected to the clasp. So you're going from one big ring to two rings to the smaller ring. So that's how I managed that. And then what I did was I decided to go with the strand that had the most quartz on it with the little tiny 11.0 seed beads. I put that one on the outside. And then on these two, I put the next longest one in the middle and the shortest one on the inside. Now, when the customer buys this, they can either wear it exactly like this, or they can turn it and flip it, and these will all be twisted together. You can do it either way. But okay, so let's get started on this, and I'll try to expedite this if I can. I'm probably going to do just one strand, and then I'll come back and connect the other two. All right, so this is the center strand. So we're going to take our crimp bead, and we've done this a million times. Put your ring on, run your wire back through your crimp, and this is a tube crimp, by the way. And you're going to pull this down fairly close to the ring, but not too close. Remember, you want stuff to breathe at the top. Okay, so we're going to take our crimping pliers. We're going to mash that bead, make that little groove inside the bead. Then we're going to come back and fold it. I didn't quite get the top of it. There it goes. Okay. Then we're going to come back and fold that little thing in half. Well, let me get my eyes down here. Well, that's what I always say when I'm doing it on camera. It always wants to act up. There it goes. All right. That's Murphy's Law. Oh my gosh. That's the way it goes. Then you take the excess and you want to run it back through as many beads as possible. Now, my little, normally, when I normally do a necklace, I would take this and run this wire as far down in there as I can get. But because the hole in these little stones is so small, I can only get it through this top one. So I went ahead and I ran it through that. And you're going to take your little crimp cover. It looks like a little Pac-Man. Put him on there. And I cannot stress enough to do this slowly. Mash this together slowly. So you want both sides to make sure they meet. Otherwise, it's going to be whoppy jaw, and you're going to have to work with it to get it straight. Run your finger across it. Make sure there's no rough edges on it. In other words, make sure it's completely together. There it is. Okay. And then I'm taking my flush cutters and I'm running that right next to that copper bead. And there we go. All right, so the first one's on, and this one is actually the one in the middle. So the next two will be on the outside going that way. Okay, I'm going to do these two and then I'll be back. Last thing, guys. Woo! Okay, so I've got everything on. They're all stacked up real nice and neat, like so. And then I'm going to take two of these 8mm jump rings. I'm going to open them up. Oops, I didn't get that one open quite far enough. I'm going to put this one on there. And then put the clasp on there. Close it back up. Make sure it is closed completely and evenly. All right, there's one. We're going to need one more. Move all these little guys out of the way. We're going to need one more. And I actually thought about putting three on here because I just thought it was so pretty. And I might still do that. I may go back and do that. All right, we got that one in there. And then we're going to hook it onto the ring like so. Close her up. If I can see it, I'll close it up. I might come in one day with new glasses on, you guys. Yeah. All right, let me make sure that's tight. It is. All righty. We are done with this project. Okay, look at this, guys. Oh my. Sunstone and quartz crystal. Sunstone and quartz crystal. Look at how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness. And the weight of it's not heavy, but it's just it feels good in your hands. Oh my, it is stunning. And it's just a cluster. Look at this. Just a cluster of stones. I just love it. I love the copper being brought in to accent as well. Oh my goodness. I'm thrilled. This will be at the shop, at the Artisan Company. I've got a Shopify store, so you can go and look at it there. It'll probably be about a week or two before I get it in the store, but it will be there. And we are done. If you got any inspiration, please like and subscribe to the channel. It sure does help me. And thank you guys for all of the beautiful encouragement from you all. It just blesses my soul. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next project. Bye.